Hey, how's it going? Felix the Barber from Banshees MC. Just here today to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't think it's any surprise to anybody that the online is not doing so hot. Now, I've been a gamer for the better part of probably about 29, 30 years, since I was 4 or 5 years old, and I've participated in a lot of betas. So before you guys keep saying it's a beta, it's a beta, it's a beta, well, it's not really a beta. All the betas I've ever participated in, closed or open, have weekly to daily updates, and the companies usually let you know what they're planning on doing, what they're fixing. They take the servers down for maintenance, and they sure as hell do not add in monetary practices. So let's talk about that real fast before we get into everything. Rockstar has done 3 updates in the better part of a month and a half to 2 months. 2 of those updates were for supposed bug fixes. One of them was just to add the store so that they could sell gold bars to people. And then the third update is one game mode with a bunch of fixes supposedly for griefing. Now, one of the problems with one of those griefing fixes is that they want to charge bounties for killing another player. And any fan of GTA Online knows some of the best fights you get into are crew versus crew lobby wars, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But with this, it's just another monetization scheme. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes. They want to charge you bounties so that when it has the little red dots pop up saying, hey, you can go steal another posse shit, you get rewards and XP for it and money, but then you have to turn around and repay that money for your bounties. And you can get a bounty in every single state and then have to pay all of those off when it's almost impossible to even make money at this point, with the exception of, I guess, grinding the hell out of showdowns or this new game mode Gun Rush, or doing fetch quests over and over and over again, because they've dumbed down the amount of money we can get for selling animal pelts. They've dumbed down the amount of money we can get for fishing. They've dumbed down the amount of money we make, period, in hopes that we'll buy gold bars, which ended up being pay to win. And a lot of people might say it's not pay to win, it's optional, it's just cosmetics. Well, it's not really. When you can skip the level cap by paying real life money so that you can get items such as guns that do more damage than the guns you have at that level unlocked, that is pay to win. That's what it is. And honestly, there's not even a reason for another monetary system other than the regular money. Even in GTA Online, they have one kind of currency, and if you choose to, you can pay for more of that currency, which is fine. But adding a second currency that things are locked behind or that you can use to unlock things early, it's reminiscent of things like Candy Crush or other iOS phone games. And it's not something that a normal game company would do unless you're EA or someone like that. But let's get into the meat of this. Red Dead Redemption 2 needs a massive online update, something to save this game for the player base. Reports say that somewhere from 60 to 70% of the gaming community for Red Dead Online has already quit playing the game. And all Rockstar's answer is to add some game mode that took them 10 minutes to make. All it is the make it count mode from Showdown with guns put in it. It's not even anything new. If we were to make those same maps in that same game mode on the Rockstar Studio Creator thing where you can make death matches, it would take us 5 minutes max. And they have way better tools than we do. This is a joke. Now, what players are really missing and what they really want is competition. In GTA Online, you have competition. When you have your businesses like the weed business and whatnot, when you're selling your product, you have the chance to get attacked, and people can come attack you for that product. So it's a competition. Or you have death matches that you can choose to do privately. Private ones with your friends, or crew versus crew, or whatnot. We don't even have that in Red Dead Online 2. We have showdowns, which we don't get to choose which kind we want, and we have to do what is basically forced upon us by Rockstar instead of us having the options. We don't have a creator studio, we don't have Rockstar editor, we're very bare bones. What we have is showdowns, gun rush, fetch quests, which are the stranger quests, and story missions. The end. Unless you just want to hunt and fish all day, and I would just go buy Cabela's. So, even the first Red Dead Redemption 1's online launched with the game, and it had tons of game modes. TDMs, Mexican standoff missions, gold grab, A ton of different missions and game types. There was even like cooperative missions to go, like kind of like heists, but not really. It was very, very in depth, and it added a shit ton within the first year, including game types for the Undead Nightmare. GTA launched with a lot of things to do. Races. I forgot races on Red Dead Online too, but who really gives a shit about horse races? Let's be honest. If you do, you're boring. But with GTA Online, launched with a shit ton of things to do. Even if it was just basic shit like other games have, like TDMs and the missions that you do where there's waves of guys coming and you gotta last. I can't remember what it's called. Billions of adversary modes within the first year. Within the first few months, actually. And then we had heists and all kinds of stuff. And I know it's going to take Rockstar time, but you can't keep saying beta, beta, beta. They have monetized, okay? They're asking for real life money. That clearly makes it not a beta. A beta eventually shuts down. And then after it shuts down, they release the full version. Now they can't charge money and then shut down the beta because that would literally be robbery. They would get sued because no one would have any of the shit they paid real money for anymore. So the second that happened, this became not a beta. And Rockstar has been quoted as talking about how Fortnite, that's still been in beta for 2 years, doesn't have to pay Xbox and PlayStation for every single update that they do because it's technically a beta and they haven't released a vanilla version of the game. That's what Rockstar is doing. It's not that this is a beta and they're going to release some ultimate amazing mode here in a couple months. It's that they don't want to pay Xbox and PlayStation the money for every single update. And yet they're still, and their original excuse was so they could update more often. And they're still not giving us an update for the better part of a month at all. No weekly updates, no communication, no anything. And when they finally do, they give us game mode, and instead have been focusing on GTA Online, drip-feeding content for a 5-year-old game so that they can make more money off shark cards during the holiday season. Which, if you ask me, is stupid business practice. Why wouldn't you, during the holiday season, want to update the shit out of Online and get an ass ton of Red Dead players so that the game sells better for Christmas time? Duh, Rockstar. What this game needs is a major DLC update, or just an update. Let's not call it a DLC. So my idea for this is Outlaws and Angels. A simple update. That can just be the update name. It doesn't need to be a DLC name or anything like that, or, fucking whatever you want to call it, Rockstar, do it. And my idea for this is to make the game more competitive, more interactive between players, where you feel like your gang and your character matters, where you get rewards. Rockstar can still make money off of it. Tons of clothing items, tons of things that you can achieve, all with simple shit that they could have done. Because they have honestly gone backwards from GTA. Red Dead Redemption 1 Online was the precursor to GTA Online. GTA Online should have been the precursor to Red Dead 2 Online, but instead we went backwards to something more bare bones than the original Red Dead Online. So the first thing we're going to talk about with this, and I'll just go on my computer here and show you guys some things. The biggest thing that we need to get rid of is we need to get rid of posses. Posses need to go bye-bye. Unless you're going to use posses kind of like the motorcycle club or the CEO in GTA Online, that would be fine, actually. That would be cool because then you could, spawn next to each other or, work on jobs together, that kind of thing. But some of that might even be eliminated by this. We need crews right here. Crews. Same way that I got crews, same way that everybody else has crews, and we need it in our own Red Dead Redemption tab right up here. Right up here. And you guys might ask, why? Why do we need the crews? Well, to be quite honest, we need the crews because without them, there's zero competition. With the posses do not even show different colored blips on the map for every single different posse. They're all pink, so you can't tell who is who. You don't have the crew tags in the player list like you do on GTA, where you can be like, oh my god, that crew, I hate those fucking guys. We fought them before. I would like to go fight them again, and this time really screw them up. You don't get that rivalry. You don't know who people's posses are. You don't ever see their names of their posses. You have no idea who they are. There's no crew tags. It doesn't even show that they're in any way united other than the fact that they're in the same little group like the MC org, which you can have anyone on the map on in GTA. It's the same on this. So we need crews. And I ask, what can we do with these crews? Well, with crews, you can have leaderboards. You can have leaderboards for, most things robbed in a session, which I'm getting to the robbing point in a second. I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself. But leaderboards are important. They show unity. Crews on the social club are important. You can look up things. They show unity, and that's what players want. They want to feel like they're part of their gang, So let's get into the meat of this. My idea, bring up Photoshop real quick, is a simple system where you can choose, based on your honor, whether to be a sheriff, this little icon right here. Actually, I'll just zoom in a little bit. Whether to be a sheriff or an outlaw, and I don't have icons on here for it, or bounty hunters. All right? And if you notice, I have New Austin down here as its own separate territory. But what would happen is you would separate all the different states in the country by jurisdictions for the sheriffs. Okay? So what would happen is first Rockstar would have to implement the idea that you can rob stagecoaches, you can rob people, you can rob banks, you can rob stores, just like in GTA. You could rob the clothing stores or rob the gas stations. Okay? So they would have to implement that first, you being able to rob things. Okay? So when you and your gang rob something, the people playing as sheriffs would get a bounty at their sheriff office, wherever the location that they might have chose. With that bounty, it would actually start up not a mini game or an event, sort of like when people get the stranger missions and it says to assassinate another posse. Okay, start up an event. Your job as the outlaw would be to get away and cross these imaginary borders, and they could even put the borders on the map a lot more eloquently than I did. The job of the sheriff is to catch said people when they commit the robbery, sheriff and sheriff's deputies. So it would be a crew, like you have your main leader, which is the sheriff, and the deputies. You have your gang leader, and you have your henchmen. So your crew's job would be to catch these people before they cross state lines. Once they cross state lines, the event is over. These people have won. But say this person, this gang, keeps committing crimes, in their territory. Well, eventually, if this guy keeps not catching them, this group of players, and there can be multiple people working for the sheriff's department, multiple sheriffs, just like GTA, there's multiple MCs. You have the same clubhouse, but you load into it you walk in the little blue circle, you load into it, and it's yours still. Same kind of thing. So there could be, 8 different sheriffs and their deputies going after this one gang. It would make it very, very difficult. And then, say these sheriffs captured these guys, the other sheriff's departments could go bad and kill these guys and take these dudes and get them back to the jail themselves. So, getting ahead of myself again, but if these guys keep escaping, then all of a sudden a new bounty pops up for these guys. Or these guys, or maybe all the sheriff's departments all over the entire map. These guys are majorly wanted, so they have a bounty nonstop. Now, the way that this bounty eventually ends is by these people getting captured. During the event, if you get roped and hogtied, you're unable to break out, and the people can put you on the back of their horse and take you to jail, where you have to literally sit for 15 minutes in jail and serve out your jail time, and your bounty or whatever goes away. Now, a lot of you might think that this is ridiculous, but it's not. It's fun. It gives a purpose to open lobbies. We don't have a purpose. Right now, we have nothing to grind towards. Now, what would we be grinding towards with this? Upgrading your sheriff's department. Upgrading your gang hideout. And all of that comes back to the crews. Okay? With the crews, the leader and the members pitch in money to buy their crew property. You would have a crew, and then you would have crew property that's listed. You would select a location for said crew property, even if it's just a camp, If you don't want to make new houses, Rockstar, just make it a camp like it is now. But we get to select where we place our camp. Okay? So, and people can have multiple camp locations. You can even have designated ones and just have a select one. And it would be very much like how when you walk into the gun shop, your character kind of dissolves and disappears whenever you go into the logbook or the shopping book. It would be the same thing. You walk into your camp, you kind of disappear. Other people see their camp here, you see your camp here. Get it? So, everybody in the crew would work together and have a donation box and a logbook where they donate money from doing odd jobs and robbing people. They donate money to the donation box so that they can go in the logbook and build up their camp and make their camp better. The camp can have certain perks if you want. I don't give a shit. With the sheriff's department, same thing. You can hire more deputies. You can have a bigger crew. Something. I don't know. Have more jail cells so that you can hunt down multiple gangs at a time. So with this, that then comes the leaderboards. You know, create leaderboards up here, or Red Dead Redemption 2 leaderboards somewhere in here. And you have the most notorious gang on Red Dead 2 is this gang. They've evaded other sheriff's departments and other players and escaped this many times. They've only been jailed this many times. So on and so forth. So then we can actually become the most famous outlaws in the United States, or the most famous outlaw in New Hanover, or the most famous outlaws in West Elizabeth. And you have different categories. Or the most famous lawmen, most people caught, most people jailed, most people hung, leaderboards such as that. And with these leaderboards, when you get into certain slots, like the top 10 people, or 10 groups, 10 clubs, 10 gangs, 10 sheriff departments, whatever the fuck you want to call it, once you get there, you get special items that you can go and buy in the stores. Special outfits, special guns, maybe gun skins. You don't want to really give people guns that do more damage, that kind of thing. But special skins, special outfits, special things such as that, special things for your camp, so on and so forth, and even more special things for the top 3 slots, and then even more special things for the top 1. It gives people something to grind towards, something to do. There's interaction. People are fighting each other in lobbies without getting bounties, so you can just drain them of their money and take their gold bars, or you can get your gold bars. So with this, though, you're also going to make money. These things, these special items, don't have to be cheaply priced. The items for our camps and stuff don't have to be cheaply priced. Some people might get tired of the grind trying to build up their sheriff's department and buy gold bars to build it up. But one thing that's really going to matter in this is horse breeds actually having different speeds. Now, if you guys have not tested this, I tell you to go online and test it yourself right now. Get a Tennessee Walker and a Arabian, put them side by side, and sprint your ass off in an open lobby. You go the same speed. The speeds on the horses mean nothing. It is a joke. The speeds should mean something. If we're going to grind our asses off and pay however much 80 fucking gold or whatever it is for an Arabian, that Arabian better smoke all these other horses. And it will matter in this. If you have a good horse as an outlaw, you can escape quicker than the sheriff's department people can catch you. If you're a high-level sheriff, you're going to have a good horse. You're going to be able to catch some of these little peons. You know, and then, like I said, the bounties can carry over and so forth if you're not doing your job. For the gang members, if you're not doing your job, your hideout's going to get less and less. You're not going to have money to get the horses and stuff you need to escape. And I'm sure Rockstar can think of some other things to punish you if you're not doing your job as the outlaws. But it becomes real. It becomes a connection. You're the most famous outlaw in Red Dead Online, period. You're the most famous lawman. You're the badass. You're the guy who gets shit done. Now, of course, something that is going to need to be added into this is free aim lobbies separated from auto aim lobbies. Why you have not done this, I have no idea. No game ever made has had free aim and auto aim in the same session. People are getting tired of the auto aim. The way you guys have it set up, even auto aimers are complaining. It's too easy. It's too easy to one-shot anyone with any weapon from across the entire map. To make this a little bit more competitive for some people who want more of a competitive, add the hardcore mode from the first Red Dead Online, where it was all free aim. You had no auto lock. You should have done that anyway, but it definitely needs to get done now. This is my idea. Outlaws and Angels. And I think it's a pretty damn good one. I think it would give us a lot to look forward to, a reason to get on every day. Whereas now, Rockstar, no one gives a shit about your game. It is failing. There's nothing to do. Nothing. And your little cash grab things, like giving us a new mission here or there, or a new game type, and especially a game type that you barely even gave a shit about, you didn't put any effort into that. You didn't. You know you didn't. So give us what we need. We need a reason to play. Take this idea, if you see it, I doubt you will, and run with it. It's just a base idea. Obviously, I haven't worked it all out myself yet. But it's still a pretty damn good idea. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you like this idea, share it around. Let's see if we can get Outlaws and Angels, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Let's see if we can get it going, because honestly, it would be fun as shit. And I think a lot of other people would agree with me. Also, Rockstar, since I'm here, add more guns. The Lamette revolver, no reason for it to not be there. Add the ability for us to buy a horse breed and customize the coloring on it to our liking. Not ridiculous colors, but real ones. No one wants a fucking purple and white Missouri Foxtrotter. We would like to be able to make the better horses in the game, once you make their speeds match up, and there actually are better horses in the game. We would like to make it the color that we want to fit our personality. Let us buy houses. Let us buy gangs and sheriff's departments like this. Let us have jobs. Being a farmer. If you don't want to go this route, you can not join either one of these and it still be in the game mode, or the free mode, and just be a farmer. Give us more things to do. Give us ways to interact. It is ridiculous that you've moved backwards from games that were made 5 and 8 years ago. Get your head out of your ass and do what you need to do for us. I love the GTA and Red Dead community. Love all you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later.